One of the questions that I hear a lot is, since my near-death experience and being in the presence of God, the question is, how do you live your life differently since that experience? And the best response I got from somebody as they were asking that question, they said, I want to know because maybe God won't let me go through any suffering like you did if I just learn it now. I don't think that's the way it works. As we've talked about, suffering is actually a gift, even though it never feels like it. But I want us to look at heaven and how knowing more about heaven and about, as we learn more about Christ and where our eternal home is, we do, all of us, even without a near-death experience, without being brought into the presence of God in that way, we live our life differently. And Paul talks about it here in Colossians 3:1. He says, since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your heart on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Now, it's easy to skip over this part, but he says, since then, because the people he's talking to in Colossia, he's talking to one of the churches. He's talking to those who have made a decision to surrender their life to Christ, to no longer be the boss of their life, but say, I don't know how this works. I don't have it all figured out, but I know you do. And Jesus, I believe that you're the Son of God, that you lived, died, and rose again. So I entrust myself to you. So I want to make sure that you understand that as you look at this. This is for those who have made that decision. And if you haven't made that decision, I pray that you will. And I don't say just make it right this second. Ask the Lord, are you calling me? And you can make that decision right now. As he goes on, he says, set your hearts on things above where Christ is. He's talking about heaven. Set your heart on heaven, which would be very confusing if you didn't know much about heaven. And that's why we've been studying it, because it's the kingdom of heaven. The way things are done there, the way people interact, their interaction with God is the way it's supposed to be here. So we need to set our hearts. What does that mean? Well, that word means to be focused, to be on a search, to be on a quest. For example, it says the Son of Man came to seek, same word, what was lost. And in Romans, Paul uses the same word, but he uses it to those who couldn't answer the question, yes, since then you have been raised with Christ. He says this, since they did not know the righteousness that comes from God and sought to establish their own, they did not submit to God's righteousness. There's effort there. There's focus. There was a focus to get the most out of this life. But the focus wasn't to set their hearts on that life, because that life is to be lived here, and that's the life we were made for, and that's the life we were intended to spend eternity in. And so we don't want to wait to live this way, because it's not like some burden, it's a gift. So we were meant to run here on earth on premium gas. Now, I know we all go to the gas station, we're like, I don't know, that looks like that's going to cost a lot. And so none of us buy premium gas, unless you get a brand new car, then you go on premium for a while, and then you go back to the regular. But we were meant to live differently. And that life of living differently is not a burden. And the more that you live in it, the more that you wear it, you realize it's actually a gift for you as well. I love what Jonathan Edwards, a Puritan, so quite a bit ago, but he said this, and I want you to listen to the tweak of the words. I've resolved to endeavor to obtain for myself as much happiness in the other world as I possibly can. That's what it looks like to set your eyes, to set your heart, to set your soul, to set your entire life on things above. There's that focus, there's that intensity. For example, when you plan a vacation, you're gonna get it right. If it's your first one, you'll do your best and you'll mess up. But after that, you realize, if I really want to enjoy this time away, if I really want this to do all that it can, then I need to set my heart on the details. I need to set my heart on everything that it takes to make this happen. And so how do we do that? What does that actually look like? And so Paul goes on and he describes it this way. He says, you need to dress differently. You need to change your wardrobe. And think of how your wardrobe, the clothes that you wear, have changed over the years. And what he's saying is that you're not going to live this old life anymore. You've made this decision. So now that you're setting your heart on things above, you're on this quest, you're focused, you're determined, then live that way. And so this old way of life, these old clothes that are out of style for who you are and where your home is, get rid of them. I'll give you some of the highlights of what he says. In verse 5 of chapter 3, he says, and that means killing off everything connected with that way of death. So these clothes need to disappear. This lifestyle needs to go away because it's not part of the kingdom you're a part of. Sexual promiscuity, impurity, lust, doing whatever you feel like, whenever you feel like it. I really want that to sink in. And grabbing whatever attracts your fancy. Bad temper needs to go, irritability, meanness, profanity, dirty talk. It's just not a part of that anymore. Don't lie to one another. You're done with that old life. Those are ill-fitting clothes. I remember the first suit I got. I was so excited. Somebody gave it to me. It didn't fit right. I didn't know. It was my first suit. Until people started pointing out, dude, that doesn't fit you. So this is what you're supposed to put on, though. This is what you're supposed to purchase. And I like that idea of purchasing because it costs. Dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. Compassion, kindness, humility, quiet strength, discipline. Be even-tempered, content with second place, quick to forgive an offense. Forgive as quickly and completely as the Master forgave you. And regardless of what else you put on, wear love. It's your basic all-purpose garment. Never be without it. It's like this right here. This isn't my all-purpose Nike outfit. Just the top. I can wear it with anything. It's warm. Nobody really knows quite what it is. It fits everything. That's the way love is. It goes with everything. Love is the new black. And so let me close with this because this sounds like pressure. Like, you can't do this anymore. You need to do it differently. And so we can say, what am I doing? I'm not living that way. Relax. Go easy on yourself. Because you need to know how Paul phrased it when he said it. Because this is translated in English, and then I gave you the Message version after that. But the way that the word is in Greek, set your hearts on things above, means it's a process. It's in the present tense. It means it's happening. So really what it's saying is keep seeking. We just don't give up. We don't kick ourselves when we have dirty talk or whatever else was on the wardrobe that wasn't there before, but somehow we still left hanging because we didn't know how to get rid of it, or somehow it slipped back in there. Go easy on yourself. Just know that our hearts need to be set at our home, the kingdom of heaven, and that we live that way here. Be patient, but be persistent. God bless.